What is up, gamers? Staxwell's back at it again today with another market watch. I'm getting a lot of questions about Dusk Till Dawn, if they should be paying pre-release prices, if what they should be selling their cards for. Just a lot of questions regarding Dusk Till Dawn. So this market watch is Dusk Till Dawn watch. All we're doing is going to be talking about the prices of Dusk Till Dawn. And it kind of sucks because I can't really use TCG Player. Just because everything has either never been listed or sold, like these two Marvel Angels here, or everything is just ridiculously overpriced. The cheapest one of the other Angels was like $400 or $500, something like that. Yeah, like look, this Soulbound Resolve, $300. That's absolutely ridiculous. Don't buy anything from TCG Player. Um, I think you should go to an alternate website. The one I'm going to be using and talking about today is going to be Flukenbox's website. If you haven't already checked him out, you should definitely do so. Great content creator. He cracked like, I don't know, 1,000 boxes or something ridiculous. And he posted most of the singles up here. So I kind of want to go over all of them and talk about the prices and what I think is going to happen to them. Keep in mind, this is all definitely a bit inflated because it's pre-sale. I don't think he's looking to get burned too bad on any of this. But this is the most reasonably priced website I've seen. I've looked at a couple of them, and I think this one is probably the most fair. If you're looking to pick up D till D singles, I would just recommend getting them from flukenbox.com. I'll leave a link in the description. Let's just jump straight into it here. Levia redeemed the Marvel Levia. It comes in two rarities. The first one is the Legendary Marvel, and then the other one is just the regular Legendary. It's a two-sided card, and the regular Legendary has no foiling on it whatsoever. So it's really boom or bust on these, almost like a dragon. I think that the Legendary Marvel, we don't have anything to compare that price point to other than the Emperor. The Emperor's roughly $1,000. And Levia, the difference between Levia and the Emperor is that Levia is actually good. Levia is actually playable. Levia's CC. People are excited for Levia. There's Levia stands out there. Like, I've never heard of an Emperor stand, right? Show me the Emperor equivalent to Mansant. Like, it just doesn't exist. This card's cooler and better in almost every way than the Emperor. So I think that this price point is actually a bit too low. I imagine that this will be closer to $1,000. And I can't imagine LSS would just like just be like, oh, we decided to print more of this than we did in the last set. That just wouldn't really make sense to me. So I think that this price point is actually a little bit too cheap. Light of Soul Cold Foil. I think Light of Soul falls almost exactly in line with Plague Hive. He has his Light of Soul listed for about $500. And if we look at Plague Hive, the Rainbow is $105, and then the Cold Foil is $280. So I imagine that that's where Light of Soul is going to be. There is a waifu tax, a Prism Tax on this, so I think that the Cold Foil will probably land a bit higher than Plague Hive did, so maybe looking at like 300, 320. That's about the max I'd be comfortable paying for Light of Soul. The chess piece for Prism, what's it called? Empyrean Rapture. He has the Cold Foil extended art for $300 here. I think that's actually criminally cheap. If we don't have a whole lot of data to go off of there, but if we look at past sets here, let's check Outsiders. High to low. Redback Shroud extended art Cold Foil is $215. So it's okay. Here's the difference. Redback Shroud is garbage. Like, let's just be real here. Imperium Rapture is like the premier chess piece for Prism, and not only that, it's also a Prism card, so it's got waifu tax and all of that, and Prism's actually going to be competitive, unlike Assassin. So I imagine that this price point is actually too cheap. I could see this being like $450-ish. That's about the price I would be comfortable either buying or selling one for. He has all of his legendaries definitely a bit too high here. I think he's just kind of trying to be careful not to get burned. He's got Iron Song Versus, Fleshbag or Scowling Fleshbag, Dietic the Runeblade Chest, and then the Illusionist Head. All of them for, oh wait, no, 270, 270, 250, 240. And then Soulbound Reserve Cold Foil, 240 as well. I think that all of these should probably be about cut in half. Just look at legendaries from past sets and kind of get a good price point for it. I think he's just kind of leaning into the pre-release hype here. Not my favorite pickup on the website, but if you really want the card, you really want the card. I think the Figments he probably has a bit too cheap, possibly. Definitely the cheapest I've seen online. No websites have it up for cheaper than this. They're all at $200 for all of the Marvels here. He has them all priced the same, which I respect. He's not trying to like speculate on which ones are going to be good or bad. Just put them all up for 200. Only thing we could really compare these two is like Tomultai. It's like the other Marvel Majestic single class card that we have. I think that the Prism Simps, the Prism Tax, the Prism Waifu Tax kind of definitely makes up for this price difference between this and Tomultai. I can't imagine that even when the dust settles that they'll be too much cheaper than this, if at all. I think there's definitely a world where they're more expensive than this after the dust settles. Very good price right here, I think. Light of Soul Rainbow Foil, 200. This is like definitely the best price I've seen online for like a major retailer. No one is selling it cheaper than that, so shout out Fluke for that. I'm not sponsored or getting paid, or I haven't even told him I'm doing this video. I just like, this is just legitimately the website that I think has the most fair prices. So that's why I'm kind of talking about it and bringing it to you guys. Yeah, Light of Soul Rainbow Foil, $200 is the cheapest I've seen, but I would say it's probably just a little bit too high for my taste. I would say probably about 150, 170s. More reasonable, more fair. Crown of Providence, the non-foil that comes in this set, he has at 140. I think it's also a bit too high. If we look at Crown right now, the regular Crown is at 170. So this just being just a little bit cheaper, like what, $30, $40 cheaper to lose the foiling, I don't think is quite worth it. I would say that like, I don't know, 110 would probably be a more fair, more enticing price point. But at 140, I would say just go ahead and get the foil. I don't think that's quite worth it. Levia redeemed, not 100% into it. The Imperium Rainbow, or the Imperium Rapture Rainbow Foil, 140. I think that this is actually a good pickup. I think this is probably going to be like the Chase Legendary from the set. Everyone's going to be kind of gunning for this one, trying to pull this one. It's Phantasmal Footsteps, right? So we could compare this price point directly to Phantasmal Footsteps. When the dust settles, it might be a little bit cheaper, but in the long run, those two are going to wind up being very similar prices. So I think he has the Imperium Rupture listed at just a bit cheap. So yeah, I kind of like that. I really think it's a good pickup. Nazareth, the Soul Harvester, the Marvel Cold Foil for 136. Great deal. We have nothing to compare the Nazareth to. I've seen a bunch of stuff opened, and there's not been too many Nazareths. No one's really talking about kind of how rare this card is, and I would be pretty comfortable paying 136 for it right now if I really wanted it. Scowling Flesh Bag, 120. I don't hate that. I think this is the best Brute equipment ever printed. Probably the best Brute equipment to ever be printed, I imagine. So 120 for the Rainbow Foil. Not bad at all, not bad at all. 100 for the Runeblade Chest, and 88 for the Illusionist Head, 88 for Soulbound Resolve. These are all fine. Like, I don't hate them. They're definitely like slightly high compared to what you would expect, but any of them could go crazy after launch. So, I could easily see, you buying the Scowling Flesh Bag for 120, then at launch, that's actually a chase card. Levy is actually tier 0, and this is a $200 rainbow. I could see a world where that happens. So I totally understand pricing everything just slightly higher than you would expect, just because any of these could just pop depending on like how the meta looks, right? Same could happen for the Runeblade Chest if Vincent is the best hero. It's just like, do you think your hero is going to be the best? Yes, then this price point's probably worth it. Spoiled Skull Cold Foil. I'm not super in love with this card in general, but $47 for a Majestic Cold Foil is very good. If we look at other cards like Mask of Perdition, the Assassin headpiece, that Majestic Cold Foil was like $200. So that's kind of what I expect Majestic equipments from supplemental sets to be. So Spoiled Soul, Bastion of Unity, and Gilmore of the Haunt. These three, I think he's probably getting burned on. I hope he changes the price of those. Great deal. Steel Alert. When I seen the Gilmore price, that's actually kind of where I stopped. I was like, all right, I gotta make a video. This site just got some deals on it. Lumina Lance. I think this is one of the Chase Majestics from the set. Cold foil, or not cold foil, sorry, rainbow foil. $23. Not a bad deal. Not a bad deal. Any of these cards could just absolutely go terminal. These supplemental sets just tend to have that effect. God, I can't get over how good of a deal these 3 equipment in cold foil are. Starstruck Rainbow, probably too expensive. Decimator Great Axe Cold Foil, we could compare this directly to something like a Spider's Bite. So this is probably also too cheap. All these weapons could be compared to Spider's Bite, right? So these are all probably too cheap. If you think they're as good as Spider's Bite, then it's too cheap, right? Do you think that the Spectre of Pain will be played more than Spider's Bite? Yeah, almost certainly, right? No one really plays Assassin too much. It's not the most popular, not the most competitive deck ever, whereas Rune Blades always are. Prism always is. So these cold foil weapons, I think he has them up here a little bit too cheap. Let's keep going. From here, it kind of just goes into the regular Majestics. Any of these could kind of just go crazy at any time, right? We just don't know what the Chase Majestic from the set's going to be, right? If you guys remember early days of Outsiders pre-sales, you could find a Codex of Frailty up here for something like this, right? $13 for a rainbow foil. Back early, you could do that. So one of these could just be an insane deal, right? Like, as ridiculous as they all look at first glance, you're like, 13 for a rainbow. God, no chance. But Hold the Line could be the next Frailty. I don't think it will be. What cards do I actually think will be really good? Let's look. I know there is some. Hold on. What's the D-React that lets you draw 2? That is Hold the Line, isn't it? Yeah, I think that card's going to be insane. So I think 13 for that one's probably too cheap. I imagine that card's going to be in every side deck. The one is just like D-React, if they've drawn 2 cards this turn, it like does something additional. Hold on, let's go back and check it. Yeah, if the attacking hero has drawn 2 or more cards this turn, prevent the next 3 damage that would be dealt to your hero this turn. So this is a 0 cost 5 block D-React. Effectively, that's also blue, so if they don't draw 2 cards, it's still a blue. You don't mind holding on to it. Like, it's just an insane card that I imagine will be in most people's side deck. There's a lot of decks that draw 2 cards every turn relatively consistently. Think Levia. Levia is going to be having Art of War, Blood Rush Bellow, the card I spoiled, with tons of ways to draw. Lexi, same thing, 3 of a kind, Art of War, all of that. I imagine Hold the Line will be a 3 of in most people's side deck. So 13 for the rainbow foil. Like, this could be the next Codex of Frailty, right? I think that this price point's quite good. And there's probably several other gems here. I don't have time to go over every single card here today. Requiem for the Damned. This card's definitely going to be good. All of these. All right, here we go. This is a good talking point. So Widespread Annihilation, Widespread Ruin, and Widespread Destruction. These cards are, you could just think of them as Leave No Witnesses. What's the yellow one called, where it banishes cards from the top of your opponent's deck? The yellow Assassin Majestic from Dynasty. You know the one I'm talking about. And Surgical. That's these 3 cards right here. So $13 for the rainbow foil, $13 for each of them. It's like crazy cheap, I think, for some of these cards. Like, you could find diamonds in the rough here. You know what I mean? So that's what he has all his rainbows at. Pretty much is $13. And then for the non-rainbow, $7 for Hold the Line. Quite good. Definitely could be like a $20 non-foil at some point. He also has Surgical Extraction up here for $27. I think it'll probably land a bit cheaper than this, but I really wouldn't be mad picking them up at the $27 price point. I imagine they'll be closer to like 15 or so. But again, this is still the cheapest I've seen of all of the major online retailers. So, if you really want it, you're afraid it might go back up, not the worst pickup. Yeah, a lot of good deals on here. A lot of, like I said before, diamonds in the rough. Go ahead, take a look at these. Let me know if you guys find any steals in here. Again, I don't have time to talk about every single card, but $7 for a Widespread Destruction. $7 for a Widespread Annihilation. Like, these cards are actually incredibly cheap. That's all I have for you guys today. I think I've gone over most of, if not all of, the Dusk Till Dawn questions I've been getting. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget, if you guys have any other Dusk Till Dawn questions, please leave them in the comments down below, and I will try my best to answer them all. Also, don't forget to jump in and become a patron. You'll get early access to my videos. You'll get entries into random drawings. I just started doing this, but I really wanted to find a good way to say thank you to my patrons. So I'm going to be giving out the promo No Good Deeds Go Unnoticed. Let's just go ahead and shuffle this up and get a roll here and see who's going to get it. All right, what is that? I don't want to mispronounce it. Jose? I hope it's Jose. Jose T. I will go ahead and reach out to you, give you one of those promos, and just because I'm feeling feisty, let's do another one today. So we got Jose T's gonna get one. Oh, I hope he doesn't win again. He didn't. Cool. Okay, and then Chase. I'll go ahead and reach out to both of those winners and then go ahead and get them their cards sent out. And again, go ahead and enter the Patreon if you guys haven't already. Early access to the videos and drawings, and you get to support the channel. What more can you ask? Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, rate, subscribe, and help the algorithm help me out a little bit. Later, gamers.